Welcome to my MCIDP video series. My name is Harshangra and you are watching Rights Management Services. As you know that in Windows Server 2008 there are so many changes is done by the Microsoft, and one of the that important changes is Rights Management Services. Exactly, Rights Management Services, what it is all about, that we are going to discuss soon in this video. But for the point of right now, what are the points that we are going to cover? The very first point is, what does RMS do? What exactly like RMS is, and क्या ये just a kind of anti-FS permission है, या much it is much more better than the anti-FS permission? Yes, it is much more better than the anti-FS, but what exactly it is, that is we are going to see soon. Next is the RMS component and the server and the client. Meaning is, before to start deploying the rights management services, you should know very carefully that what exactly the components required to deploy RMS on behalf of, or on in such conditions on server or on the client side. So what are those that we will discuss definitely. The third point, installation considerations. Definitely before to start the deploying RMS, उसको स्टार्ट करने से पहले डिप्लॉयमेंट से मीन्स नेटवर्क में, तो आपको जानना बहुत ज़रूरी है दैट व्हाट आर द बेसिक नीड्स दैट इज नीड टू बी डन टू डिप्लॉय RMS. And last not the least is demos, that I will show you what is the exactly RMS does and what is the purpose to use the RMS is, and how exactly to be done or successfully get the result from the client side, that we will do very soon. Now, rights management services, as you know the name rights management, it is not, guys, the remote management, it is the rights management. So rights management definitely talk about such kind of permissions. कभी आपके साथ ऐसा हुआ है, like being a like I'm a computer, like kind of passionate person, so I have so many kind of documentation is available. Sometime I also like to be write down some kind of some kind of editor, some like to write down something about the put on the websites for the better knowledge or to share the knowledge. I also did something like that. But one day what happened, I don't know why, it's such 6 years back, what happened, I was sitting in a company and by mistake I shared one of my very important folder, because one person wants to access it. Actually I know that, but at the same time somebody is trying, like is a kind of some kind of script kiddies, like they don't know exactly the hacking, they just want to try the software. तो उन लोगों को पता नहीं होता कि इससे होगा क्या सॉफ्टवेयर से, बट दे ट्राइड ऑन द हैकिंग सॉफ्टवेयर एंड दे automatically found my shared resources. What he did, he just copied the documentation from that particular folder, and he made changes and show to the company like HR or some kind of technical head, and then he is trying to impress them. But one day what happened, everybody speak about hey, he did some good things and all this. I want to check what he did actually. When I saw, he said it is my document, he just did little bit modifications and he just used it. Little bit feel awkward, but it is true, like sometime it happened in the company. So that's why the rights management comes into the picture. What it is, let's start. So definitely जैसे कि अभी मैंने एक एग्जांपल दिया कि मेरे कुछ पर्सनल डॉक्यूमेंट किसी ने चेक किए या फिर एक्सेस किए, so definitely I also feel bad that why they do like this. So this is the important thing, like you need to be take care of your documentation or something like that. So this particular RMS will exactly do the major important thing. It is going to protect your documents and your emails. Sometime by mistake you send an email to any other person with an attachment, and maybe it is a HR policy or maybe such kind of contracts between the policies, but by mistake because of the same name, दो नाम सेम होने की वजह से by mistake उसने दूसरे को भी send कर दिया. So actually you do not want that, except the specific people, anybody can access that one. So you can use the RMS for that. You can apply the security for the specific users, that these are the users only can access this document, except that all are denied. That you can do with RMS, and you can deploy on your network infrastructure too. Apart from that, he can prevent your viewing. That means if you do not want that anybody can see even also that document, that also you can make such kind of protection you can apply using RMS. Now the print, one of the very important, very simpler part in kind of anti-FS permission. Take an example, आपने read की permission लगाई, but still आपने read की permission लगाई for the old user, but those old user can copy the data, can paste it, or they can save as, and they cannot make changes in the same document, but they can save as, and most important, they can print out that document if they want. The same thing, RMS also provide you some kind of specifically granular kind of security, so that you can specify that he can only view the document, except that all read, write, access, copy, paste, you can deny these kind of things. So RMS can do these kind of things as well. And the most important part, so many times it happened, just like I give the example, somebody did changes in my document, and to show everybody else that this document made by him, or this means, kind of article made by him or something like that. So you do not want that anybody can make changes or did modification in that. You can use RMS there. Next is copy and paste. Of course, you do not even want that somebody can copy or somebody can paste also. You can protect your document as well with these kind of things. And apart from the forwarding, like just kind of thing, email forwarding and all these kind of thing, you can also prevent your email to forward somebody else as well. Once you click on forward, he said you do not have permission to do all these kind of thing using on email. Expiration, actually expiration is a good option for which place, like where the contracts is going on in between the company. Best example on the SharePoint sites. In the SharePoint sites, like the one project is handled by the company, and they know that after 15 days it is going to be expired, so some kind of expiration will be applied after 15 days. So you can apply these kind of things as well using the RMS. I hope you got my meaning. But apart from that, there is one note I write down here. In that one, cannot protect against other copy methods. What are the other copy methods? Like you have camera, you have mobile phone with good megapixel camera, you can take the photo as well, and then you can show anybody else if some important is there. Or I'm using right now also to make the video, I'm using such kind of software. So this kind of also thing you can record the things and all thing you can do. In this case, RMS also cannot do anything. Now start with this RMS, as you got the meaning that why we use RMS or why we do RMS for our network, क्यों हम use करें RMS को. So these are the protections, some security kind of thing that we are going to do in the future thing. Now start with the very first one, the RMS component. The RMS component is one of the very important thing in to deployment of RMS. डेफिनेटली जब भी आप RMS को डिप्लॉय करेंगे तो सबसे पहली चीज आपके माइंड में आएंगी टू डिप्लॉय RMS सर्वर. So for the RMS server, what are the major things you need to be done on the server side that we are talking about right now? The very first thing is root cluster. This is called ADRMS root cluster. What exactly, guys? Don't be confused about the root cluster, because as we know that, as I know that cluster is such kind of like multiple computers are work together in the same network as like a single system. This is such kind of network deployment you can use for the load balancing or fault tolerance. That means if this kind of thing, like in between this server goes down, this server goes down, then you have further server that client can access the resources, though, so that clients will not get to know that somebody goes down. This kind of concept used in cluster, but guys, don't be confused. It is not and nothing like that. ADRMS root cluster is such kind of point where some kind of templates is saved. The template is what exactly? In the template you can I just write down the word template. Actually this is my E like this. I'm sorry, it is quite awkward, but okay. Template means take an example. I said I make the template with the permission view only. That means मैं चाहता हूं कि कुछ स्पेसिफिक यूजर सिर्फ मेरे एक डेटा को या फिर एक डॉक्यूमेंट को देख पाएं. सो आई अप्लाइड द व्यू ओनली काइंड ऑफ permissions. So you can apply the permission on the root cluster, so that later if anybody trying to be like apply this kind of security, so it will directly come to the cluster, means root cluster, and verify the permission and then apply the security. I hope you got my meaning. Next is a domain controller. Definitely when we talk about the server kind of thing in Microsoft, so definitely domain controller word always come because it is related to Active Directory, right? So without Active Directory, it is not possible to deploy anything, especially on server point of view. Next is I have the server connection point. What is the server connection point? Quite really very important. The server connection point is what? Take an example. I have such kind of quite very bad or such kind of thing. This is my network, and I have implement such kind of client, and this is my RMS root cluster. So exactly meaning is he sent a request over the network that I want to protect my document using RMS. Then in the network, some kind of network configuration or such kind of DNS, it looks like some kind of person or something like that. So over the network he will find, and he will find the RMS server, and in the RMS server I have saved some kind of templates. In some kind of templates is such kind of permissions. So once this particular computer wants to apply the security, so RMS will be connected temporarily to this particular templates, and then user can apply the securities. Actually SCP is nothing but we talk about the root cluster. Wherever the root cluster is, it will find and finalize where it is the root cluster is. To start with the configuration, you need to think about the user group and service account. You can apply the security you own specific user that, like as I told you, I have one user one here, and I don't want that somebody like this user one do not allow specific user two that user 2 cannot access, मतलब user 2 access ना कर पाए document को, और specific I have group G group. I don't want that G group members can access this kind of thing. So you can do this kind of pretty things as well in this one. Now guys, being a professional, I recommend to use SQL 2005 or 2008 in your network environment if you are using RMS in such kind of the big network deployment. आपकी कंपनी में अगर बहुत सारे डॉक्यूमेंट के डेटाबेसेस हैं, like it's a magazine kind of company, so you made so many articles and you do not want that anybody can make changes in that, so these kind of security better you can use 2005 because it has to save such kind of configurations, so many kind of templates you have to create in this one, and they will definitely take such kind of database. And second thing is how many users will be logging in this particular time, and all these kind of logging, these kind of concepts you will save also SQL5. But before to start with the RMS deployment in your production environment or in the real scenario, you can check and test your RMS as well using the Windows internal database as well that we are going to use definitely this time. Now you have the AD RMS licensing only cluster. What it is, guys, want to tell you one thing. If you really want to deploy RMS, you can deploy in the whole forest only one AD RMS root cluster. आपको एक ही रूट क्लस्टर बनाने की परमिशन है, दूसरा आप नहीं बना सकते. Now consider, as you see right now, I have RMS server and this is my F1, this is Forest 1, and Forest 1 I have F1B. It is not such kind of FIB, such kind of organization. It is Forest 1 branch. This is BR branch. Now if I have a branch and I have one computer like here and he also wants to apply, so definitely you cannot make the root cluster on this branch as well. So for that reason you have to create licensing only cluster. So what will happen, this exactly clients, if you want to apply, so he will send a request to license only cluster and he will send a request over the network to the RMS over the network. Once it is finalized and he will check, oh, it is the license only cluster, he I know him. Once it is verified by, जब RMS लाइसेंस ओनली क्लस्टर को वेरीफाई कर लेगा, सो दैट ये टेम्पलेट से कनेक्ट करेगा एंड लॉजिकली ही विल सेंड बैक विद अ कंफर्मेशन रिप्लाई that okay, no problem, you can protect now your document. So this only on this computer you can protect your document as well. So this is the only all concept of the licensing only cluster that you will better understand right now. As you see, I just discussed about some of the terms like root cluster, license only. So this is the diagram that will give you a little bit better idea about it. So as you see, I have two different like branches, Chandigarh and Bangalore, and actually both are working in the same forest. So FO, I will write down FO1. This is a Microsoft means forest one. Take an example. So I have one place Chandigarh, another place is Bangalore. Now think about it. I implement RMS root cluster in the Chandigarh place. Now apart from that, definitely domain controller should be there, because this is only the thing that I can use to deploy RMS. Now apart from that, better before to start with the RMS, you can deploy your SQL too. Because of what reason? Because अगर आप आपकी business if you have a good business company and you have such money to deploy the SQL, so you can use the database of the root cluster as a SQL server too. So for that reason, you can put this one as well. Now, once it is done, so you're consider as a Windows XP is my client. So guys, if you are using Windows XP as a client, so you have to download RMS client applications or kind of product software from the www.microsoft.com. Quite easy to download, nothing special, because Windows XP does not have this kind of software. So better you can download, and then you can connect with the RMS server to protect your document too. Now as you see, I have a branch office that is in Bangalore, so you cannot create a cluster. So better you should create a license only. It is nothing but a kind of logically joining connection with root cluster, so that, and the database of license only cluster you can save also in this location as well with your separate SQL server for this particular branch. Now if this particular Windows 7 and Windows 7, Windows Server 2008 or Windows Vista do not require any additional application installed on this operating system, because it is already done with that. So now if Windows 7 user wants to be secured any data or any kind of document, he will send directly request to licensing only server. Now licensing only server send a request to the RMS cluster to confirm the templates and all these kind of things. Once it is verified by RMS root cluster, he will send back a request to confirm लाइसेंस रूट क्लस्टर, और जब ये पूरी तरीके से वेरीफाई हो जाएगा तो फाइनली ही विल सेंड फाइनली टेम्पलेट्स और प्रोटेक्शन इंफॉर्मेशन टू दिस क्लाइंट, एंड नाउ दिस पर्टिकुलर यूजर एनी एक्स वाई जेड यूजर यू कैन अप्लाई like the protection on your specific document. This is all about the same thing. Now for the point of the client side, you need to remember some points. In that one, the number one point is email address. Guys, this is very important. If you start on the client session, you need to take care of something. The very first thing you need to take care of, like I am on the Windows Server 2008 and I have created some kind of ADRMS user that we are going to use very soon. So once you right click on the properties, guys, what is talk about the user email. As you see in the down, here's an option email. If you see right now here, so जब तक आप यहाँ पर इसका email ID नहीं देते, email ID is nothing but the username @mylab.com, and mylab.com is the domain name as you see right now. जब तक आप ये नहीं देते, so this user could not be verified by RMS. So ये user RMS को यूज नहीं कर पाएगा अगर email ID नहीं हुआ. जैसे कि आप देख रहे हैं RMS test user 01 पे email ID है, and once you go to the property of the RMS test user 2, there is no email ID, so that ये user access नहीं कर पाएगा. This is only the very first point you need to remember. That is on the client side. You have to be, if you have Windows 7, Windows 2008 or Vista, you do not require any additional software because it is already done on this operating system. But if you have XP 2000 or 2003 as a client, so you need to download one application from Microsoft, that RMS client, so you can use the same thing. Apart from the operating system, you can apply this like make secure your document as well on the Office Professional, Pro Plus and Ultimate Edition and Office 2010 as well in the same Microsoft products. One another product is from the Microsoft is एक अलग product है Mobile 6. So you can use Mobile 6, Mobile 7 as well to implement the RMS too. But I want to tell you something, that this SharePoint means SharePoint 2007 or 2010 is the best place that you can implement your RMS server, because it is really certain so many documents you need to be done and share or this kind of thing in the SharePoint server. And you can use as well on Exchange Server 2007 Service Pack 1 or 2010 Service Pack 1 as well. Now, before to start with the scenario, as just I discussed in the diagram that you need to be done licensing only server in the branch side, because only RMS root cluster should be, only one in the forest you need to create. If you want to create a RMS on the branch side, you just need to be configure licensing only cluster so that you can easily use the license server as well. On the internet connection, you need to also deployment the licensing only parameter so that the people can connect over the network and all this kind of thing. What is this meaning? I will just tell you. This is my, sorry guys, it is quite so much bad actually. I do not have pen, so this is something like somebody can see, and this is somebody is a kind of photo. Say I'm a very good artist or not, guys. This is considered, it is a cloud, okay? It is not a man. It's very angry man or something like that. No need to think about it. Now take an example. I have a client now, and I have a RMS server here, and this client, and in this particular thing I have a license only branch. So guys, if it is available in different location, so you need to purchase a SSL over the network so that this licensing only server can use SSL, means port number 443, to trying to connect with RMS server here. So once the RMS server will be verified, so that this particularly this client can be access their own resources or the protect the resources using RMS as well. Next is you have the option reverse proxy. Guys, what is the reverse proxy? As you see right now, I have one kind of take an example. I have this particular user, and as you see, I have a user with smile and quite very nice guy. I'm a very good, and this is my intruder. Now take an example. This is my server. He's a quite very bad man, and as you see, he's like just smile because he is quite so much angry, right? And he wants to access something. So he's my intruder or kind of hacker, H for hacker. So once this kind of clients can access anything from internet, actually usually they will share their IP address or cache memory or some kind of shared memory or something, so that this kind of intruders can access the resources or kind of information from this client. So directly this will be destroyed, and then it will become like he's become like crying and all this kind of, because it is access. So the better option is Microsoft provide you some solution that's a good looking solution and very happy always. This is ISA server, and quite very attentive and very gentle, because this is always ready to for this kind of intruder or hacker. Now the next time if this company wants to be access anything over the internet, he will go from this like this, so that if this hacker wants to try to do anything, so he will get the information first from this, and he's always ready to do. वो ऑलवेज हैकर के लिए रेडी रहता है कि मुझे उसको पहले से आइडिया रहता है कि somebody trying to access, so that ISA server do not allow to get any information, and maybe the connection will be dropped automatically according to the policy implement on the ISA. Now if licensing only server trying to do the same thing, so he will send a request to this. Actually the request is coming from the internet to the ISA server. That's why it is called the concept of reverse proxy. So once it is verified, he will send back to the RMS server. Once it is verified, now after the verification, the RMS server person allowed the permission applied on the client side. So this is the whole concepts you can use. There's another thing, you can use the federation services. In this video series, means the next video we are going to deploy federation servers. Maybe you like it, and you can use the same federation services to apply the security with RMS too. लेकिन इंस्टॉलेशन करने से पहले आपको कुछ चीज़ें याद में रखनी हैं, जिनमें सबसे पहला है यूज़र अकाउंट्स. You have to create a user account for your points. That is the very first point you have to done. That is like on the server side, I have created service account, because I talk about the very first point, service account for installation. So I already done in the AD service account. As you see, this service account is nothing have the special permission, nothing like that. It is a normal user like the domain user, but only the thing is, keep remember, do not forget to give these two permissions. भूलना मत, पासवर्ड नेवर एक्सपायर और यूजर कैन नॉट चेंज पासवर्ड. दिस परमिशन अगर आपने ये नहीं दी, देन इट कुड बी अ प्रॉब्लम, बिकॉज अगर ये अकाउंट एक्सपायर हो गया, सो ADRMS सर्विस प्रोवाइड करवाना बंद कर देगा ऑटोमेटिकली. दैट्स व्हाई इट इज शुड बी केयरफुल फॉर दैट. सेकेंड थिंग इज एंटरप्राइज एडमिन फॉर SCP कॉन्फ़िगरेशन. अगर आपके पास एक यूजर है, जस्ट लाइक आई क्रिएटेड स्पेशल यूजर विद अ ट्रेनर यूजर, this user, at least one user, should be a part of kind of enterprise admin. As you see, I am the enterprise admin member, so the trainer user is always ready. And apart from that, I created two normal user as a RMS test user 01 and RMS test user 02 as well. And guys, the very important thing, do not install RMS on DC. This is very important. आप RMS को DC के ऊपर जहां पर एक्टिव डायरेक्टरी इंस्टॉल हो वहां पर इंस्टॉल मत करना. आई विल शो यू वेयर यू हैव टू इंस्टॉल इट. नेक्स्ट थिंग, इफ यू हैव द SQL सर्वर इन योर कंपनी, सो बेटर you have the rights, means the user, you have the rights to create a new database. It is quite important. If you do not have, then we do not require actually. Now you have to generate a SSL certificate for the better security. अगर कोई user permission मांगता है, so that it will directly connect with the RMS using the SSL certificate for a security point of view. And the last thing, you have to create a CNAME record to deploy RMS. That is also we are going to see soon in this